Yo, yo, we are live Wednesday night. What's going on YouTube and Facebook and Mr. Vega?
Yo, what's up? I'm doing the Facebook thing right now. Yeah, good times. Day 6.
Facebook.
Day 6 for me.
Rob is killing it with the live streaming. Absolutely killing it. And I'm
I don't know
barely
if
doing
I'm
video.
killing it or it's killing me. It's definitely one or the other.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Sorry, you have to do it backwards when you're working on camera, so I'm trying to point the right way. All right. Party people in the house, we are live. Tell us, I guess just confirm that we sound okay. We think we do. We always do audio checks before we come on, but looks like we got quite a few, mostly YouTube viewers here.
Mic check 1, 2, 3.
And just so you guys understand how this works, Rob and I use this software that allows us to stream to both YouTube and Facebook at the same time. And so today we are doing that, and we can actually see both of the comments here within our utility, which is very cool. So we prefer you to watch us on YouTube because we get a little bit more out of that as far as subscribers and things like that. But if you want to watch us on Facebook, that's cool too. The Third Era, my dudes, appreciate you, sir. Thank you for supporting the podcast as always. You are the man.
You the man.
All right, we sound good. Good morning from Australia. Oh, good morning. John, are you on the East Coast or the West Coast of Australia? Just curiosity. And the reason I ask is because since Craig is down there, and that's clock, he went from Melbourne to Perth. I think he's in Perth now, so he's 3 hours. It's like the difference between East Coast and West Coast and the U.S. too. Merry Christmas, Matt.
Yes,
DIY Audio Guy. What's up? David Carter. William Berg, thank you.
Yes.
Sending us some coffee money. We're going to need it here in a little bit.
Yeah, the $2 holla.
$2. Well, cool, man. We are back. This is our last show before Christmas.
Yeah, we'll see y'all next decade after this.
We're hitting a big one. We're hitting a 10.
Every dad has to say that. It's a mandatory dad joke you have to say at this time of year.
True that. So we had kind of planned to do a combined podcast with Everyday Audios, but we couldn't get our days right because I couldn't do last night. T-Fade couldn't do tonight. So we're going to do that sometime in the future, maybe. But yeah, for right now, it's just going to be me and Big Rob. So we're going to hang out with you. And we're going to talk about the year in review. Can you believe that, Rob? We're almost at the end of 2019. We're going to talk about what we did and people we talked to and the people we interviewed.
Yeah, it's
been. What do you say?
It's been a year, so I think we could get into it.
All right. Well, I'll put myself on mute and I'll let you kick it off. Kick it for the homies.
5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome to 12 Volt Talk, episode 68. This is our year-end review podcast. It's me, your boy, High Five Vega, joined, as always, by the man, the myth, the legend. He goes by many names. The one I like to call him the most is the best homie. What's up, Big D?
What's going on? I was lip syncing everything you said because I knew exactly what you were going to say. Not really. It's an exciting Wednesday here, week before Christmas here in the lovely East Coast of the United States. Rob's in the central part of the country. Goodness, yeah. Will Savard is in the house.
What up?
What's up, Mr. Savard? Speakers.com. Ooh, got a free plug. How you like that? Come join in with us. You might get a free plug.
Yeah.
Because we like a pool company. We give out free plugs. Sorry, I don't have my...
I
don't have... So, Rob, tonight we're going to talk about 2019 coming to an end and some of the things we have done this year. We're going to go over some of our highlights. We're going to give you guys some of our stats from YouTube. And yeah, we're just going to talk about 2019, how it went.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, how long have we been doing this now? About a year and a half ish, somewhere around there. So it's been an experience. I'll say that. We've had very cool times. We've had some scatterbrained times. We've had some I can't really say we've had any bad times, but we've just been all over the place.
Yeah, well, we always have a loyal following here of peeps joining in every week. And they got mad when we started doing every other week, but it is what it is. But we still appreciate you guys showing up as you always do whenever you can. And if you can't, watch us on demand, because we're also on demand.
Yeah, Matty Devine hitting us with the jab real quick before we start. He has a challenge for 2020, and it's grow some hair.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work for me. Well, it grows out of my nose and my ears.
Yeah. I mean, I could grow some, but it's gonna be. It's just it don't lay down. It just keeps going out.
It's kind of like your little avatar thing, or that's mine.
That's yours, yeah.
Yeah, mine's that way. Well, mine is this. It grows right here, and I ain't going for the clown look. So sorry.
Oh man, I'd love to see it though. I think you could pull it off.
I would have to brush it across, do the Donald.
Yeah. I mean, hey, do it or the what's the bowling movie with Bill Murray? He's got the major comb over.
The bowling movie.
I can't think of it right now. I'm sure the chat knows, but let's just get right into the first thing. I figured we'd start with our favorite episodes. Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You go ahead.
All right. So I have 3 episodes that I picked that are my favorite episodes from this year, 2019. And I guess we can kind of talk about them individually as I've mentioned them. And probably my favorite episode of this year is episode 36 with Mark from Cardio Fab. I'm a huge fan of his channel. I love the content he puts out. I love the instruction. I love the quality of the video he puts out. And it's just like everything is on point, and I appreciate each little step that he takes to do the videos that he does. What do you think about that episode, D?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to interview Mark several years ago, and I think we talked about that in our interview, but it was, I don't know, maybe like 2010 or 2012. I interviewed him on my main channel, and that was when Mark actually had less subscribers than me. He was just starting off, and he was a great interviewer back then too. Just a very interesting guy to talk to, and this show was no different. He's highly driven. He's very skilled, extremely intelligent, and it all came across in the podcast, just talking about everything that he's doing. And you guys may notice I'm showing it on the screen right now, his website, but he actually did a Supra 2020 build for SEMA and did some of the fab for the back with JL Audio, and just fantastic. I mean, he's at the top of his game and doing some really great work. He's got some very high-end sponsors, and he deserves all of the kudos that he gets. So yeah, that was a great one. I agree. That was actually on my list too, Rob, but since you picked it, I'll let it be on yours.
Yeah, I stole it, as I do many things from you. So, so I named my number one. Why don't you name one off your list, and we'll just kind of bounce it, ping pong it back and forth.
Yeah. So, excuse me. Mine was EXO Contralto, and I was trying to pull up. Let's see. We have a picture of, here it is. Let me pull it up on the screen here so you guys can see it. This was the spring OSS meet this past May 2019, and it's the first time I got to meet Rob and I got to meet EXO Bruce in person, and he had his little blue with 218s behind the seat, and Rob and I both got the experience of sitting in that monster. And we'll talk a little bit about the whole experience of the show a little bit later, because we're going to get into the two different meets from the year. But wow, I mean, that dude is really cool. And talking to him, he's just as genuine on his videos that you guys watch him on as he is, in person. So he's not acting. That's the coolest part about it. There's nothing that he's hiding. Everything you see him do, he's again, like Mark, he's very skilled in what he does. He edits his videos very well, puts everything together well, and just a cool dude. What do you think? What did you think about your experience with meeting EXO?
Oh man, it was awesome. And like you said, he's the same person you see in the videos is the same person you're going to meet if you ever meet him in person. Just a really genuine dude, very cool, very eager and happy to teach somebody something or learn something from somebody else. And you don't find many people like that anymore. And I appreciate that about him. And he was cool enough to come out and hand out demos at the small little meet that we had up in North Carolina. And it was awesome. It was cool to get to meet him, and like you said, his work is excellent. His video editing work is cool. He does the best bass demos in the business on YouTube, in my opinion. Yeah, he just does a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, he was a fun interview as well. We got, and it's funny because somebody else mentioned it, but I don't know if you saw his last video that came out yesterday, where he showed the video of him and his sister going to some island up in Maine. And
Yeah.
it's like a day adventure, and they rode bikes and they climbed up into forts and everything. But somebody in the comments mentioned, because we asked him about having his sister on his channel, about how, he got so upset because of some of the negativity that was brought up. Or I don't know if it was negativity. It was just people, guys being guys, seeing an attractive girl and things like that. So, he kind of acted like he didn't want to show her in there again. But then here this week, he just released the other video, and I scrolled through a lot of the comments, and I saw a lot of positive comments. So I didn't really see, people saying things that were too crazy. So I thought that was cool, but it was a really neat video.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he still does stuff like that, where he shows kind of a day in the life type thing. I think we all should probably do that.
Yeah, for sure. And that video in particular, like I commented on there, and like I told him for sure he's the older sibling, because it looked like he was daring his sister to do something. Like, if you get your sister hurt, man, your mom is gonna kill you. 100% your mom's gonna kill you. He was sending her in them holes and all that, and that rope.
And that rope ladder, dude, that thing looked sketchy.
That rope wouldn't hold one of our legs.
No, I wouldn't be climbing up that thing. No doubt.
That would have been the last time anybody climbed on that rope if one of us jumped on there.
For sure.
All right,
So who you got next?
Okay, for my number 2, I've got Chris Bennett. That episode was 39, and to meet Chris, online, and we got to meet him in person in Dallas. He is so enthusiastic about car audio, and the guy's he's super positive, and you can just tell he's got a love for car audio outside of just the company he works for. But he also loves the company he works for, and he promotes it, and he's out there doing things. And yeah, I just thought it was cool. He's a legit old school guy, and he loves this stuff as much as we do, if not more.
Yeah, Chris is a top quality guy. And, something I've noticed, the more of these manufacturer marketing / sales reps, things like that I get to talk to, is that those guys are kind of a tight network, even at all the different companies. But it's kind of cool, just meeting some of them and just how into what they are. And it's kind of like Rob and I always talk about, about the thing we do for a living. We're so jealous of people like Chris and Kip and some of the other guys that, you can tell that they love what they do every day. I mean, they travel a lot, and sure, they have to do things that, that aren't always glittering, gleaming, cool things, but still overall, they have really cool jobs, and you can tell they don't take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's for sure. And that's a dream job. But with you sit there and really look at what guys like him and Kip travel day to day, I mean, you really have to love a job to be willing to do that kind of travel that they do. And yeah, I mean, don't overlook that when you think you want a dream job, that you're gonna have to put a lot of work in, probably more than you would in a job that you don't really like.
You said that. So, yeah, Chris was actually on my list too. It's another one that Rob kind of stole from me, but I let him have the light. It's a great interview. What we're going to do is we've already got the links generated in our document, so we don't have to ask people to help us with this. I'm going to copy it and paste it into the video description on YouTube. So check the YouTube video if you want to see any of these other episodes. The other thing too is if you don't want to sit here and watch video of us talking to people, you can go to Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcast, and do the searches, and you can find these episodes too and just listen to the audio version. And that way, as you're holiday shopping or, just going to work in your car, you can listen to these shows. And I think you'll really like them, especially when those guys talk instead of us. Much more interesting. But anyway, so my next one on the list is Scotty Johnson from Excess Power. Scotty, is the head of a very big company. Took his time out of his busy schedule. They were getting ready to release new products. He had all kind of things coming out, and this was June 26th when we had him on. But it just had a great discussion talking about lithium, talking about AGM technology. We talked about chargers. We talked about his early car audio career and how that worked. It was just, again, another very interesting episode. If you guys haven't seen it or heard it, make sure you check that out. He's a really interesting dude, and he's definitely done really well for himself.
Yeah, and has over the years, you can just look back and he's really supported the community in ways that a lot of manufacturers haven't. So really give him props for that. He's still supporting the community nowadays with the DIY stuff, and they're selling their own lithium batteries, but also on the side, he's selling lithium, whether Yinglong cells. So you get them from him pretty cheap with a warranty. I mean, very cool. Offering cases, all that type of stuff. DIYcentralshop.com if you're into the lithium type situation.
Yeah, they're pretty much offering them at the same cost if you buy the lithium cells direct yourself. So you're getting the backing of Excess Power. Like Rob said, you can buy the empty battery enclosures and you can make your own battery if you want. So really cool stuff. And he's so super knowledgeable about all that stuff. It's great to hear because we did talk about a lot about that in the video as well. So yeah, make sure you check that out if you can. So Rob, who do you have next? And I'm kind of shocked by this one, honestly.
I've seen the shade coming over the head here. All right, so my third favorite episode was the Sidekick Show. Me and Skip01, the number twos, got on. We chatted it up, had a good conversation. We got to throw shade at D and T Fade, and that's what it's all about, man. If you can't rib someone when they're gone, what's this world coming to?
Okay. I'm glad that's one of your top three. Sleeping with the enemy while I'm not around, whatever floats your boat. No, T-Fade and I have talked about doing a one together too, but I'm not sure him and I would be a very good podcast because we both like to talk, and I'm not sure how well that one would work. But
that'd be funny. That'd be a funny one.
It would. I'm glad that I'm glad to know that a Sidekick episode is one of your favorite. That makes me feel good. Promise. So with that said, I'm going to go to my next pick, who was Jeff Smith from AMP Global, and we just we had Jeff on not long ago, actually, just a couple weeks ago, November 20th. And Jeff's a great interviewer. And it's unfortunate that we didn't get time to talk about BMX, because that was one of the things I really want to talk to Jeff. He's still active and still rides BMX. And he's in a lot better shape, I think, than Rob or I guess I could say because I don't know how good of a shape Rob's in, but I know I'm not. But yeah, great discussion. Talked about the old Phoenix Gold, talked about some of the new products and some new technologies. And we pretty much could have had him on for 2 hours, but he had to help his daughter with homework. And, we don't want to take up too much of people's time, but we'll definitely get him back on.
Oh yeah, man. I'd love to have Jeff on. He was a really fun interview, and we didn't get to talk about BMX. We got to talk about all the old. He has so much cool old school stories that it's a balancing act for us. And we're really here for the old school stories, but we also want to hear the BMX stories. So we gotta get them back on at some point, and just do the BMX cast. Like, drop the charade. This is what's it called? Amps and ramps. But we're cutting off the amps. It's just the ramps.
Dude, a little side jag from that. I don't know if you've seen it, but the 8-year-old kid that does the backflip. Have you seen that video?
I shared it on my page.
Oh my God. I don't know how many times I watched that thing today. I was just enamored every time to see that kid do that slow motion backflip. I was like, he's 8 years old. Yep. That is insane.
And I shared it on my page, calling out to everybody, talking about, oh, we were back in the day, kids would have never made it. Like, well, this kid's 8 years old. I didn't ever do nothing like that.
That was it's unbelievable that he got that 16-inch bike that fast too, enough to go over that 13-foot jump or whatever. We'll have to see if we can find that. If anybody in the chat hasn't seen it,
they were like, he's landing on a blow up ramp. Who cares? Like, he could have still got hurt doing the flip.
He could have not made it. I mean, he could have not made it to the ramp, to the landing. He landed like a boss too and rode out of it.
He did too, man.
You guys got to see that. That is impressive. If you're not even into BMX, not even into bicycles, if you never rode one, if your mama never bought you a big wheel, I'm sorry. Things like this excite Rob and I, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, we're nerds about many things outside of car audio.
That is correct.
So let's recap our events, or the OSS events.
Yeah, so we had a couple of events this year. We try to do 2 per year, a spring meet in North Carolina and then a fall meet in Texas. So the spring meets, unfortunately, due to my lack of planning and everything, usually are pretty small. And I'll pull up the picture here of the group so you guys can see. And I'll zoom in a little bit. And those who are listening to this, I apologize. You see a bunch of old dudes wearing shorts. But we had like 25, 30, something like that. But no real advertising. It was very short notice for most of the people that came. But everybody there was super excited and just super cool to be around. I met some guys that built boxes, some guys here locally that have helped me out. And some of the guys come to all of them. Of course, Rob drove in like crazy, like 17,000 hours or something to get here.
Me and JDR. If you drive with JDR, it's gonna take a while. That's just facts. He knows it, and I hope he hears this on playback. He knows he's slow. He's a slow road tripper.
Yeah, well, he's got to stop a lot and squeeze out his depends. That's okay. But yeah, we had, some cool installs like this old Power Acoustic ice, whatever it's called. Was it Sapphire? I don't remember the model, but anyway.
Oh, it was the Sapphire, yeah.
Yeah, it had the Mojo sub. 5-star in the house.
What up?
This must be the one night that Dean is not doing something. Dean,
I'm sure he's working. Editing. He's probably working and watching this.
Probably he's multitasking. He's got one ear of his headphones going to us and the other one going to his editing.
Yep.
But yeah, there's EXO's car. Everybody was, of course, looking at his setup because it's so impressive. Already shown that. This is Chris's one was a Honda Pilot with the 4 dark AI 12s.
Yeah,
And
6 of them.
6. Did I say
Yeah.
4? I can't
Yeah.
count. Yeah, there's 6. And we had some other, cool old school installs, Phoenix Gold. There's me. Can't deal with that 160 dB. You can see the sub behind it. Look at that PSI sub flexing.
Yeah,
Look at him looking at me. He's like, can you take it? Can you take a big D? Can you handle it? The thing that you can't gather by this picture, and you have to go watch the video, is how my knees were like all up into the dash. Rob's shaking his head because he was the same way sitting in there. The front seat of this car is not designed for 6'4" people.
No, and I knew, because I know you're about an inch taller than me, and I got in there. My knees were up as far as they go, and I was like, I don't know how D's gonna do it. Because he needs whole another inch of room, and there's if there's not an inch of skin on your leg, I didn't think you were gonna make it.
No, it was tight, but it was worth it for sure to check that out. Then afterwards, we went to a local mall, and some of the guys were able to join us and just had a good chat. I mean, it's just, things like this, getting the community together and just hanging out is what's cool to me. It's not ever about how big the show is. Like, I don't care there's not 700 people here.
Yeah.
I could care less. If it's 30 people that are really super into it, then that's all we need. We don't need to have a huge crowd. Now, I'm not saying that, if there's 700 people that really want to be there, that's cool too.
Yeah.
But it's just handling an event that's that big can get challenging too. So that's why I kind of prefer the North Carolina one of the two to be a more intimate type event, smaller group.
Yeah.
Because when we go to Texas, everything's bigger in Texas, including the meet. So, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the North Carolina meet is a lot of the really hardcore guys and some of the guys that live close. And, it's just fun. It's easier for you to handle because you're stuck doing everything by yourself in North Carolina if it's a bit smaller. But I still had just as much fun as any of them. Just like you said, I have as much fun if there's 10 people there, if there's 60 people there.
Yeah, it's a good group of guys. So that's the cool thing, is hearing the stories and talking about the dream setups and all the things we do. Talk about old school amps and stuff
then
like that.
It was maybe like 300 degrees that day, and a snake crawled up in someone's vehicle, and somebody pulled that out, man. Freaking like Wild Boys style, pulled it up out of the muffler. So I don't even know what kind of snake it was. I just know it was big. It was a big snake.
Yeah, I don't be messing with snakes. I'm not the kind that was, that's poisonous. Oh, that one's not. I just know it's a snake. I'm staying away. It's a gardener snake. It's okay. Yeah, maybe.
Now I ain't never seen no 12-foot gardener snake. I don't know what that was. I thought it was a water moccasin, but I didn't get close enough to tell.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, that was the other thing that we didn't really talk about here, but that was funny about the event is I chose one of the state parks, and I chose it because it was actually a really cool, it's called Sandling Beach at Falls Lake, and it actually had like a beach area with sand. So the reason I want to do it that way is because if people brought their kids and their wives and whatever, and they wanted to hang out at the beach area, they could do that while the husband was checking out the stereo equipment. But the funny thing is, when we drove in to the event, and it said nothing on the website about this, by the way, nothing. I show up and say, we've got unit number 5 or whatever the unit was. And the guy's like, you have to sign this piece of paper that you agreed to all this. And so I look at it, and at the very top of the paper, number 1 says no loud music.
Yeah.
I looked over at Rob and I'm like, do I say anything, or do we just, no, we'll just go with it. Yeah. So I signed it, and everything, and gave it back to him. And then we drove in, and I'm like, God, what do we do, man? We can't play loud music. That's just going to kill us. The one good thing is we were the furthest unit away from everybody else. So we were like, you had to drive all the way through the park, and we were almost at the very end. So I think that helped us out. And I chose that one on purpose, knowing that we would be furthest away from the crowds, from the beaches, from the things like that. And it turned out okay. They didn't run us away. I'm sure they hurt EXO's car.
You were smart to put it back that far, and that did help us out. Because we kind of, we were breaking the rules, and I think they did notice some of the cars playing loud. Chris Walters and EXO's cars were very loud, but they didn't seem to mind. We were far enough back. So, pro tip next time when you have to sign something like that, just write Mickey Mouse every time. No one looks ever.
You must not have seen my signature. It's not discernible anyway. Nobody would ever know. But that is a good pro tip. I appreciate that. But so that turned out okay. I'm still trying to kind of decide about the spring one for this year, because there are some other places that are closer to actually where I live, because this is about 45 minutes away where we were at, that are kind of like parking lot type places. But I was thinking that the park would be neat just for the family aspect of it, and having benches, and we had a covered area with ceiling fans and everything. But anyway, we'll find a place that'll be as cool or cooler this year for the spring meet. So you guys get ready. It's usually around the first weekend in May is when I do it. So obviously you guys will know because you're here every week. But if we I don't put it a lot on Facebook, and I don't put it on YouTube for sure. So kind of have to listen tight if you want to be involved in that one, because I didn't want to make it too big that I couldn't handle it. So since I'm, like Rob said, I'm doing most of the setup stuff myself, I wanted to make sure that have enough food for everybody and all the other stuff and facilities and everything else that's needed. But it was fun. It was a fun little small show. But on with that, let's go into the October fall OSS meet, which was in near Dallas, Texas. It was Scurry, Texas. And I'll go through some of the picks, and Rob, you can talk a little bit about what you thought about the event.
All right. So before we get started with this event, I want you to tell me a little story about how a big dummy slept in an airport. I don't know if everyone's heard this or they even remember, but spin that tale.
Yeah. So I'm not a frequent flyer by any means. I may fly once a year, and it's usually just for this type of event to go to Texas for the meet. So in order for me to be able to do some of the things I needed to do for that day, I put my flight a little bit later so that I could leave North Carolina a little bit later to head to Texas. So I fly Delta, and I fly into Dallas Love Field. And there's no direct flights from Raleigh, Durham to Dallas Love Field. They all stop in Atlanta. So we leave Raleigh on time, get in Atlanta, and then we have a delay. And so I was going to land at 10:30 p.m., I think was the plan time to land in Dallas Love Field. And Enterprise Rental Car closes at 11:30. So I'm like, I got an hour. That should be plenty of time to get off the plane. I don't check bags. All that stuff's good. Well, we had a delay. We didn't end up leaving Atlanta until 11 p.m. So we didn't get to Dallas Love Field until like 11:50. So I landed 11:50, and I'm sitting there going, well, I can't go pick up the car because you have to have somebody at the desk. They're not going to have the key sitting there waiting for you. I'm like, what do I do? Do I get a hotel? Do I get an Uber, take me to a hotel room? I could, but that's like $100. And then I was like, maybe I can just chill out here, because it was, midnight. So I can do some things on Facebook and whatever, and check out my videos and answer comments and everything. And so Dallas Love Field, they got on the speaker system and said that you had to move to the Love Lounge if you want to stay, because they were closing all the terminals. I'm like, what the heck is the Love Lounge? It was literally a section in the airport that had like 10 padded benches. And I'm 6'4", and my feet hang off about 3 feet of the padded bench. So I got as comfortable as I could. I slept about 2 hours, got up at 4:30. I could be at the rental car place at 5:30 a.m. I picked up the car at 5:30. and then I drove to Dallas and got my hotel, and I went to sleep. I was tired. But it's funny because I talk to people who travel all the time. They're like, oh, yeah, that kind of thing happens all the time. You know, you always get delays and there's always things like that happen. I'm like, what would you do if you can't get your rental car? And I didn't want to call up, hey, Jason, you're an hour from the airport. Can you drive here for an hour and pick me up and take me back home? Oh, yeah. And then I'm going to need you to drive me back in the morning to get my rental car. It made no sense for me to leave. So anyway, it was a debacle. It worked out. I got my sleep the next morning and I caught it up. But yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. I didn't get the VIP treatment I deserved.
Well, that's what you got, the first class.
First class big dummy treatment. That's right. So yeah, that was the story. So I'll flip through the pictures here a little bit as you give. Tell me a little bit about what you thought about the meet.
Oh yeah, man. The Texas meet, it was huge this year. Kept growing. Wayne Harris showed up. That was cool. This is second year he showed up. Especially, the Rockford Fanatic guys like Mike Schultz. He actually came down from Rhode Island, got to get some things signed. The Titan box is now in Bill's son, Raymond's truck, the big dummy with a 32-inch. That was a cool setup. We ate steak. That was fun.
I got another small story to tell about the steak, and Rob remembers this, I'm sure. So as you can see, I'll pull it back up so you can see those who are watching us. We had a large group. We had like 35 people or something that went out to eat dinner that night. And so, you think about it, how do you handle a group that big if you don't have it catered in? Well, our good buddy Bill that planned the event, he's like, hey, I know this steakhouse. I'll call them and tell them we're going to have 30 some people. They'll save us seating area. And they did. They knocked it out of the park. They gave us a whole like dining area for us to eat and crammed us all in there. And we all had a great meal at steak. It was really good. But it came down to the end and the lady walked around and she's like, who do I give the bill to? I was like, what do you mean? She said, oh, it was agreed that this was all going to be paid by one person. I was like, I don't know who agreed to that, but it ain't going to be me. And Chris and Kip, no, Chris wasn't there, but Kip looked at me. He's like, I can't expense this whole thing. I was like, I'm not going to ask you, kicker rep, to be expensing this. But anyway, they were nice enough to break it up for us and let people pay individually. And of course, I paid for a few people that I could, but I couldn't pay for the whole group. That would have been, probably $1,200 or more. But anyway, it made us think about, how can we do this better next year? And so after we got done with the meal and everything, we're like, why don't we just cater to the thing? Why don't we charge people when they come in, say, hey, if you want to stay and eat dinner, pay an extra like $10 and we'll have it catered in. And that way people can stay. And those who weren't able to go, and I know you guys, some of you guys haven't seen this venue because I haven't really showed it in video format yet, but it's a really cool, like farm area that's got a pond. It's got a place to go fishing. It's got I would say a clubhouse, but it's more like what would you call that, Rob? Like
it's just like a small dining room.
Yeah, dining area. It's got refrigerators. It's got tables. They have a restroom there. So anyway, for 2020, our plan is we're going to have it catered on site. So if you guys want to go ahead and start planning October or November, we haven't really got that solidified yet because there's some talks of us wanting to go somewhere else in November, I think, if we can work that out. But this is a really cool. I love being here in North Carolina and having the event here, but I enjoy going to Texas because it's a bunch of cool people and it's a really neat venue. If I could get something like that here in North Carolina, that would be awesome. But that's a fun one.
Oh yeah. And we could, there was 60, 70 people there this time. We could have double that at that area and still be okay. So you could play your stereos as loud as you want. We can all play our radios and just have a good time. And it's fun. We don't have to worry about the cops coming out, which has been a problem in the past. As some of you may know that have been to the North Carolina meet. But yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, we forever in trouble. And I
Yeah.
know even in North Carolina, I've been offered some places in the western part of the state, 3 hours away or so. Um, People that have land and stuff like that have offered it up and even offered to cook, smoke a pig or something like that. They've offered all kinds of things like that. So I don't want to act like nobody has offered that, because they have. For me, it's just I want to make it close enough to home where I can drive and not have to stay somewhere. But if that works out to be the better option, then we maybe could do that this year. I don't know yet. We'll have to see how the plans go. Because if we can have a cool venue like the one we have in Texas, I'm willing to travel somewhere. I
Yeah.
prefer that when Rob and Jason come in, and Sean, that and Mike Schultz, that we have a place here that you guys can come hang out, check out the lab, and we'll test some amps and stuff like that. So that's why I prefer it to be closer. But we'll try to make sure we can accommodate enough people for next year. But the Texas meet is awesome, and not only did we have 2 days worth of fun, the Texas meet. What else did we get to do, Rob?
Oh man, we got to go to Kicker. That was an experience that I won't ever forget. And we got the Big D tour, and we went ham inside that place, and we seen everything we wanted to see and more. So it was very cool. I can't say enough about it. Kip was awesome. Steve Irby was awesome. I mean, everybody that would come and talk, Bill Braun was awesome. Everybody that we dealt with that day was just totally awesome. And you even the workers seemed like they were happy to be there. People working in the factory, and we were able to stop and talk to them, and yeah, it was just a good time, and it was cool to see everything that Kicker does and how they do it and why they do it.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before in previous episodes, but I don't mind repeating myself when I say this. But you know, for me, is one of these things that I kind of always wanted to do. I've always want to go to a large car audio manufacturer, and there's none larger than Kicker here in the U.S. at least, as far as one to go to like this. Facility was just incredible. Like Rob said, all the people we met, you could tell that place had a lot of people that really enjoyed what they did, kind of like we talked about before with Audio Control and Chris. But Steve Irby, I mean, we got to go to lunch with the guy that owns Kicker that started back in 1973. And we just sat around and talked about old stuff, talked about how we started with the original Kicker boxes. And it's just like, man, it was incredible. It's so neat. I hope that between mine and Dean's video, we're able to capture part of the experience. But they do 90-minute tours. If you're anywhere near the area, I would definitely schedule it and check it out, because they do a much tighter version than what we had. Like Rob said, we were there literally all day, but it's worth it. A 90-minute tour. I would have been happy with a 90-minute tour. I was just elated that we got more time, but it was lots of fun for sure. It was like Wally World, but Wally World was open and we didn't have to hold anybody up.
Yeah, and and on top of it all, Steve Irby went to lunch with us, and we just got to sit and chill and talk. And I knew, you guys know I got a big mouth, so there was no way I wasn't going to ask him about the old school stories and how this all started. So I just had to, I bulldozed my way in and that popped a few of them questions out, and he was more than happy to answer them. And I just got a whole new level of respect for Kicker, being there and checking it out and meeting the people.
Yeah, everybody was so genuine and so nice. And Steve, if you met him, you would never know that this dude is a multimillionaire. I mean, just as cool as anybody else that you'd meet, and so willing to talk about it. You could tell he's very passionate. And I've not met many owners of car audio companies before, but in a lot of cases, people who are at that level are that level because they're business people and things like that. But somebody like Steve, who's good with the business, he's good with the product design and everything. He's involved with the listening. If he doesn't like how it sounds, then Kicker doesn't sell it, kind of thing. And that says a lot. I mean, the company's done great. I know some people get all upset about the square subs and won't they bring back the round and make the old school logos and stuff like that. But there's a reason they have to progress. Obviously, they can't keep the same thing around, but it was impressive just to see the level of testing and engineering and retesting and all the stuff they did to make it through a product cycle. It's just incredible to think about how long it takes from inception to you actually see a new product. I mean, it's an extremely long time, and there's a lot of work that goes involved with all that. But it was neat to see everything they had there and their whole history. And even Rob and I got to hold up the sign. I don't think I've got that picture though. Yes, I do.
There it is.
The kicker sign, which was the coolest thing that we couldn't quite carry out with us because we wouldn't fit on the airplane.
Yeah. That was a cool tour. I mean, I'd do it again because there's still things that I still want to see. We really didn't have enough time that day to see everything we wanted to see. But
no, we were willing to stay probably a few more hours, but I know Jason had to leave. But Rob and I were like,
we were there after they closed. They'd been closed for an hour or two, and we were still there checking everything out.
Yeah, and they're very kind to not kick us out and kept telling us, "Oh, you guys stay as long as you want, but you can leave now."
Oh, it's especially when we're sitting there. I don't think we didn't tell them what we think they should do. So they bring us into their house, show us, and we're like, "Hey, man, why don't you bring back the old look of the subs? Why don't you make home audio? Why don't you?" So we were giving it to them all day, and they took it like champs, took it in stride. And
well, I figure offering some constructive criticism is never a bad thing. So we need to do that as well.
Oh man.
So with all that, we've talked about some of our favorite episodes. We've talked about the spring and fall OSS meets. Now we're going to kind of switch gears a little bit and talk about 12 Volt Talk, talk about the podcast. And we've got Rob grab some of the stats and I grab some of the additional stats. But first off, does anybody want to guess in the chat room what our most viewed episode of 12 Volt Talk in 2019 was? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump down to the most referenced person on 12 Volt Talk while you guys try to answer that. So again, what do you think was the most viewed episode? And it was a interview episode. And I'm not going to give you any more hints because if I say it's one of the ones we've already picked up above, if you guys have been listening, then you might be able to gather it. But anyway, what do you think? Let us know in the comments. We'll come back to that here in just a couple minutes. So, Rob, who is the most referenced person on 12 Volt Talk?
So I didn't actually go through all the videos to see. So I just had a sampling of 4 people that we both reference quite often on 12 Volt Talk. And you want me to just name them all right now? All right. So it's Mark from Cardio Fab, always recommending his videos. 5-star car stereo. We're always recommending their videos because those 2 channels in particular are well beyond our skills of anything that we do. So we're always mentioning them. Of course, our brother from down under, Craig Harrison from Old School Car Audio. He is always willing to help. He's always there. And, he's a very cool guy. We like the videos Craig does, all the same stuff about the same guys. And last but certainly not least, a bit of a somewhat of a ghostly third chair on 12V Talk is the homie JDR. He's the man, the myth, the legend himself.
He is, and we didn't include Ed Lester, but I wanted to give a special shout out to thank Ed for joining in because he's helped us out a few of the times that Rob and I've gotten into binds. Ed's helped out. Craig has helped out as well. Dean has joined us. Mark has joined us. So yeah, everybody he just mentioned, we appreciate you guys, and we'll keep shouting you out because you deserve it. So we've got some people's guesses above, and I see the first person I think that got it right. I'll scroll back up and see if I missed.
Well, he said Let me talk about this while you look. He said, "Don't say who shall not be named." The bowling episode. Now, I will tell you that he is not the most viewed episode this year. He is the most viewed episode last year in 2018, episode 14. That's our most viewed video. For this year, who is it, D? Who got it right? Mr. Dudley.
Mr. Dudley got it. It was EXO Contralto. And yeah, that one did really well for us. And he, it was just a great interview. If you guys haven't seen it or heard it, I recommend you go check it out. I want to try to pull that one up real quick, and we'll see. I don't remember. Do you remember how many views it had, Rob? I think it was like 3,000 or something, maybe 2,500
range. Yeah, which for hour and a half long video is not bad.
Yeah, I show it had 2,360 views. So yeah, for like Rob said, for these long episodes, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And looks like I have 195 thumbs up and no thumbs down. Don't you do it. Whoever's thinking about it, don't you do it.
You shouldn't have said it.
Don't
it's going to happen now.
Do it. Only thumbs up are allowed.
Or if you're going to thumbs down it, you have to push the button twice. That's the only way to let us know that you really wanted to thumbs down it.
You really dislike it, to hit it twice.
Yeah.
And, I get this all the time, and I'm sure Dean and some of the other people who may be listening who have YouTube channels think this as well. But I think a lot of times people will thumbs down a video because of what you do the video about.
The content, yeah.
Yeah, like I do a video about a cheap Chinese 4-channel amp. They're like, oh, that thing sucks, thumbs down. And it's like, dude, you don't understand. This is about the content. Do you like it? If you do, give it a thumbs up. I don't care about the product. But I can understand people that don't understand how it works, that, yeah, it's a product, so I'm giving it a thumbs down. But that's my excuse as to why sometimes I get thumbs down and Rob sometimes gets thumbs down. There's no other real excuse as to why that should happen.
Well, I've got a person that follows me around and thumbs down the video every time, so I'm surprised that he hasn't struck on the EXO video.
It's because he forgot to hit it the second time. Maybe his clicker's not working right.
That's right. That's right.
Index finger pain.
Why don't you walk us through the other stats, D, that you ended up pulling up?
All right. So subscribers total, we have 2,420 subscribers. The channel views, which is the entire views for the entire time that we've been on, is about 73,328. And for 2019, I did kind of an average, and I broke it down into monthly. We get about 5,000 views a month is about the average for us. And just so you guys, and I wanted to put this in here, and I asked Rob if it will be okay if I told you, and he's fine with it. So we'll just let you know that we turn on monetization when it was available. And within 2019, we've made right at $2,000. Okay, so 12 months, $2,000. The majority of that has been from the super chats, because we've had people. I know Coleman from CT Sounds, God rest his soul, please. But he came on a couple of times and it dropped like $150, $200. We have people that give us a couple bucks a week, and we have $5 here and there and $10 and $20. So all that stuff adds up, and we've made about 2,000. So split that in half, that's about 1,000 a person. But we have bought StreamYard for a year, which is $129. We pay for the podcast, so those can stay online. Because if we didn't pay for the podcast service, then it would only let us do like 3 or 4 episodes, and then the other ones would go away. And Rob and I were like, no, we want to keep these things online. So people want to listen to the old ones, they can. So if you break it down for the time we've invested and whatever, it's obvious, we're not making bank on this, but we did want to let you guys know that we are, we did make a little bit of money, but it really is reinvested back into what we do here. We're not making it rain.
Now we're buying things like, this, like fun things to play with that have to maybe make the audio better, maybe make it worse, who knows. But at least we're trying. Shout out to Jessica Scott. Thank you for the super chat. But yeah, we appreciate it. And, stuff isn't cheap. The StreamYard, like Derek said, it's roughly $20 a month. So definitely worth it. I think, anyways, if they can get up to 1080p, that'd be awesome. If they do that, I'm going to upgrade my camera. I'm going to change it up. But while we're at 720p, I'm not really going to sweat it. When we get up there, definitely going to do something about it.
Yeah, I hope that nothing I just said about the amount we brought in anything was disrespectful to anybody, because I didn't want to come across that way, because we do appreciate you guys being here. We appreciate everything, that you're able to help us out with. I just wanted to kind of, let you guys understand that this is not going to have us quitting our day job anytime soon. We do this because we love it. And we're glad that you guys can chip in when you can to help us out. That is greatly appreciated, although we don't ask for it. Did I just say that? Because I have kind of asked. I didn't mean to. We don't intend to make you feel bad if you don't, because we just do it for fun. So anyway, that's just what it is. Just want to let you guys know that that's how it is. If you think about it, about how much that is and divided by 2 and everything, it's a few hundred, it's $100 or so a month per person, or a little bit less is about what we're getting. And there's been a few months that have been much better than others, because I know Rob and I look at it and we're like, oh, here's your $40, Rob. And hey, it puts gas in his truck, buy him a couple meals, things like that. But anyway, we wanted to share that with you guys to let you know where we are subscriber wise. Doing pretty good. Channel views okay. This is a long format type of content on YouTube, which traditionally doesn't do all that well unless you're Joe Rogan or somebody like that. But I think we're doing okay. It's not grown at the rate that I kind of hoped it would, but still okay.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Matthew Townsend for the $5 holla. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, we're not doing this for the money. That's for sure. We do it for the fun and to be able to hang out and chat with you guys. And I just want to give one more special shout out to a couple of guys that are always throwing money in all the time. Third Era, Brad Newsom is also a big supporter. So I appreciate, if I didn't mention you, Brandon, Hannah, there's so many of you, and I appreciate all of you. If it's 99 cents, if it's $20, anything, anytime, I appreciate it. The guys that support us on our Patreon, I appreciate you guys, so everybody, I appreciate the people that just watch, the people that interact, the people that comment, all equally.
Yeah, and the people that, they're available sometime to join us, come on the show. That's appreciated too. But yeah, we're doing this for you guys, because we're not doing it for us just to talk to ourselves, because we can do that without going live on YouTube. But we do appreciate it.
Yeah.
A couple of guys recognize Rob's sticker. There you go.
Yeah.
High school, Rob.
Oh man, I'll fix
high school guys.
If I pass Big D in subscribers, man, my head is, I've already got a big head. Imagine how big it would be. Oh man,
it's all good. We're all in this together.
Yeah.
I would give you kudos every day if you did. All righty. Well, what we're before we end the podcast, what we did want to do is leave you guys with some thoughts for moving forward. Even leaving a comment here on youtube.com/12vtalk. Leave it on our channel. Leave it on the video. If you're listening to the podcast, if you want to go to our Facebook page, 12 Volt Talk on Facebook, or go to the YouTube video, either way, however you want to do it, we're just kind of asking, what did you guys like the most about 2019 and 12 Volt Talk? And then also, what can we do better? Because we're always looking for constructive criticism. And don't say do a show every night, because it ain't going to happen.
No, not unless it's 12 days of live streaming.
Yeah, not unless we could do that yearly salary per week per person than we do every day. I would be doing a show every day for you guys if we could do that. But no, seriously, we just let us know, because we want to understand what you guys want. Rob's talked about it before. We try to set up a document so that we go through this, we're not just all over the place. And I know sometimes we give side jags and whatever, and that's cool. But we try to make it as structured as possible, because we know people may be listening here on a podcast, and we're trying to make it somewhat fluid and somewhat interesting so that people will stick around. And that's why we do it that way. We love to stick around a little bit afterwards and chat it up with the guys who are in the chat room, and we thank you for doing that. We just don't interact with you quite as much during the show, just because of the podcast and how that works. And it does pull away from, some of the smooth riding if you kind of pull off the street and pull back on and pull back on. But that doesn't mean we're not watching. That doesn't mean we're not listening. But let us know if you'd rather us spend more time interacting with you guys. We could try it. I mean, I just think for the podcast wise, it goes better. Well, I know when I listen to them, if people start talking to other people and things, it just kind of pulls away my interest. But you guys let us know what you think.
Yeah, for sure. And before I read off the super chats, I do want to say that I totally lost my train of thought. I had something in my head that was going to sound great. What was it? Oh, okay. I got it. I'm back in. On 12 Volt Talk channel, the comments you leave in the videos after it goes live and it posts to YouTube, I see all those. We both see all those, but we typically don't respond to a whole lot of the comments on this channel after it goes live. We try to mainly respond to the ones live as we see them, as we can. It's just too hard to keep up with 2 channels, all the comments. So we pop in there as we can and answer them. But if you notice that we don't answer a lot of those, we do see them. Sometimes we just don't have good answers for you, and we just don't have time to go back and answer them. So be live.
I've got a good one to talk about after the show ends here. Now that I saw one of the comments here, but I'm not going to bore those who are listening on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts. If you're listening to the podcast there, make sure you check us out, youtube.com/12vtalk. Rob is going to go through the super chats real quick before I forget like a big dummy, and then we're going to close it out.
All right. Thank you. Third Era, William Berg, Jessica Scott, and Matt Townsend. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Yeah, thanks so much. And again, if you're listening on Google Play, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, or however you're listening to us via audio only, make sure you check us out, 12 Volt Talk, which is youtube.com/12vtalk. We didn't want to do 12 Volt Talk because it didn't look right when you spell it out. But 12V Talk, you can subscribe to us there. If you're watching us on Facebook, thanks for checking us out. Again, make sure you go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to us there. And yeah, I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, whatever else you celebrate. Santa Claus comes to this house. So y'all celebrate what you want. I celebrate Christmas. So hope y'all have a good one, whatever it is that you celebrate. But I'm going to say Merry Christmas. And if I hurt your feelings, then too bad.
I don't think anybody's feelings really get hurt over that. They just say it. People just say that people's feelings get hurt.
Softies.
But let's get on to the to amps and ramps.
Amps and ramps.
Yeah.
All right. Until then,
we out of here.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. So the one that I saw was Robert Van Hoy, and his favorite moment was Big D cashing in the wheelie bag.
That was my.
Somebody still owes me $50 too.
I forgot about that.
I think Skip got out and sent me 50 and said, "I'll give you the other 50 if you can bunny hop." I'm like, dude, that wasn't the agreement. You still owe me $50.
It said PayPal.me/BigDWiz. That was awesome.
I was hoping that would kind of, just work with osmosis and people would just see it and just start sending stuff. But it's all good. Awesome. It's all good.
All right. Drop them questions, folks. What do we got?
Totally awesome when your guests show off some of their rare gear. And that is cool to do that. And we can try to work that into a future episode too and see if we can get some people or get some rare things, like people we know that have it that don't mind showing it off. We could do that. That would be pretty cool. Let's scroll back up because there's so many comments here.
Yeah, I'm trying to look through myself as well. Oh. Okay. Third Era says maybe revisiting some of the earlier interviews a lot of people missed before the views. Yeah, we could certainly try to do that and get some of the people that we had on early. Redo those, maybe add some different questions. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm still scrolling. Yeah, a lot of people, they're chatting amongst themselves. Yeah. Understandably, since we don't really engage during the oh yeah. Sundown has the new see, that will be the one good thing about us maybe doing the NC meet in the West is that we could be closer to Sundown.
Yeah.
And we could maybe get a tour if Jacob will let me in.
Well, you got to quit bashing his amps.
It just did it once. I pointed out a QC problem is all I did.
Oh, here you go.
What is going on with the hot rod? Well, I'll say this much. It left my possession this week. And that's all I'm going to say. It is no longer here with me.
Yeah.
What do you think that means?
She's gone. You sold it. The hot rod's over. The dream's done.
Have to wait and see. Maybe I got a Lambo. Decided to get rid of the hot rod and go Lambo Ferrari.
There you go.
2020 Corvette. Who knows?
Yeah. With a
Rockville. It's Rockville Sam.
We've tried.
He won't. We can't get him on. Or Mike. I don't know. They want
I think they'd like to come on, but I think that maybe there might be people higher than them telling them if
probably
they can or cannot go on.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Let's see here.
Timmy D, I don't know. Kicker had some rumblings of things they were coming out with, but I would not sign a NDA. So just because even if I did sign it new, then I couldn't tell you. So that's why I prefer not to know.
So third Era says there's a lot of big hitters out there. We've Steve, he's got a standing invite whenever he's ready.
He was that in fact, you guys may remember he visited one and commented a lot on one of the shows, and I've been back and forth with him, and I was like, come on. He's like, he was almost gonna come, and then he backed out. And I understand. Hey, busy, man. Asking for an hour and a half of somebody's time is
we still need to hit up Soundman. We hadn't hit up Doug yet, and or Jonathan Price. So which JP was on Everyday Audio, so we don't always want to retread the same people.
Yep. Yeah, how do you say this without sounding wrong? But they talk a lot more about SPL stuff on their show, and he fits in their market a lot better because he sells a lot of SPL related gear. But I still would like to talk to him. I mean, I'd like to try to get him to work out some kind of an affiliate program because I think he could do. I know he's doing great.
Yeah.
But granted, if I would send him a lot of traffic, if he would, do some affiliate stuff. But until then, Amazon and eBay.
Yeah, that's what I use. You can speak to this, can't you?
Yeah. I say yeah, and you see what my head's doing.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I thought as well.
They spent all their money on what was her name? Nicole.
Oh, the girl. Yeah.
Yeah. They spent all their money on her and didn't grant they had cool looking products with the VU meters. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got that huge Com One amplifier that's in a freaking casket. The box is so big. And no, we haven't seen Rockville Sam lately.
Yeah. We need to hit him up like Rockville Sam. What's going on, man?
You know, the funny thing, Rob, I was checking some of my old voicemail messages on my home phone. Mark, what's up?
Mark, what up, man?
What's up? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
So I checked my home. I've got UMA for my home phone, and my freaking little hardware box is crapped out. So everything is routed through my cell phone because UMA is a cloud-based service type thing. Anyway, you don't have to have anything here. But anyway, I was going through some of the old messages that I hadn't listened to, and one of them was from Mike from Rockville. Oh. It was from months ago. And said, hey, give us a call, blah, blah, blah. I was like, how did he get my home number to begin with? I'm not listed anywhere for my home number. But anyway, whatever it is.
Are they mob affiliated too, like DS18?
Could be. See, I did buy something from them. I bet you that's what it is because it did have my home number and my PayPal. Yeah.
There you go.
Gotta watch out.
Mobbed up, man.
Mark Scaff in the house. You have been a busy man. I guess you're getting ready to go to yes, sir.
Yes.
You're getting ready to go to CES in January, I take it. Rob and I are going to try to work out SEMA next year if we can, because we're trying to move back our Texas meet so that we can maybe try to go to SEMA. I would love to. I would love to meet some of you guys in person and be able to hang out. And
I'm saving vacation days for it. We'll figure it out for sure.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. We'll do that. But yeah, man, you rock. So thanks for dropping in here and everything that you've done for the community, and congrats on the sponsors and everything that you've got, because Rob and I are so jealous, especially of Crutchfield.
Crutchfield's like the dream sponsor, man.
It is.
We've been Crutchfield homers for a long time. We've been talking about forever.
We need Bill's number because we need him on the show.
Oh,
he's one of the earliest ones that we tried to get. We tried to get him early, but I know he's busy. And we could probably get Steve at Kicker. We could reach out to them and see if he could work it into his schedule sometime. But I bet as much as he seemed to enjoy talking about the old stuff that day, I bet he would talk with us. We'll have to try that.
Oh, this is a good suggestion from David. Try to get Bobley Gately on. That'd be cool. I mean, he's doing some crazy cool boxes.
Absolutely, he is.
Yeah, we need to get Mark back on too. He's always got something good to talk about. And have you seen his latest videos on the SQ build? Have you watched them yet?
I haven't seen them yet. They appear in my feed, but I have not not watched them yet.
Well, they all know we have the playlist that we watch every night, and I've made my way through. So I always watch my cardio ones first, and then I go out to the other videos. Well, let's see what else we have. Oops. I accidentally overrode you.
That's all right. You're all good. Box Designers, Spaceaholics, Hunter. And yeah, we've talked about gosh, what is his name? Works for AD Car Audio.
Oh, Hexabase.
Yeah, Hexabase. We talked about getting him on too.
That'd be cool.
That'd be fun.
I don't know if he'll do it, but that'd be cool. It's if you're asking someone to be on something like this, I mean, that's a big pool. Some people don't want to. First of all, they don't even want to be on YouTube, especially if they're not like Hexabase. He's already on YouTube, but people that are just in the industry and not always on camera or something like that, it's a big ask sometimes to get people to actually be on there.
Yes, it is. Yeah, the Crutchfield catalogs that come out now are pretty. In fact, I've
Dan,
got one. I've got one right here. I don't know how old this one is, but better TV sound. They still have car audio stuff in there, and I still collect the old ones, like from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and even into 2000s. If anybody has any of those and doesn't want them, let me know, because what I do is I kind of put them in my library of magazines and literature and everything that I collect, and try to scan some, and I'll share some of the pages on Instagram sometime. And hey, remember this? And I know Crutchfield does it too,
yeah,
but I enjoy doing it on the old school stereo because I get a lot of people that really like the historical stuff.
Derek, you
What
got
are,
goals? You gonna reach 1 million subs this year on your own channel?
I don't know. That's a deep question mark, because I know you have taken the dive. Um, you're making a living doing the YouTube and the other things that you have built around your YouTube brand, and hats off to you for being able to do that. Um, I'm I'm in a situation where it's going to be really hard for me to dive in because of some of the things that I'm afforded with my day job. Pension for one, for sure. Not many places offer that anymore, and healthcare, stuff like that I'll get if I stay a certain number of years. So I would love to be able to devote a lot more time to my channel and make a lot more content, do a lot better content. But I'm gonna keep doing the best I can do. It's good to set goals. I hit 150,000 not long ago. I would like to think I could hit 250 by the end of 2020. And I don't know. I don't know what else other than that. 12 volt talk. I'm not real sure what my goals are for 12 volt talk. What do you think, Rob?
For 12 volt talk, like I said, I'd like to be like the main when people think of car audio podcast. I'd love it to only be just 12 volt talk. Would be like the Kleenex of car audio podcast. That's long term goals. Short term goals is maybe do one of these live from SEMA. I think that would be cool if we got a chance, even if it was a little ad hoc situation. My channel personally, I've got over 5,000 this year, so that's good. That's a long time coming. I would like to double that next year and then continue to double that every year. That's my goals for my YouTube channel. It takes time. It took a long time to get this first 5,000. A lot of help from you, especially, to put me up over that. And I'm just gonna try to ride that momentum and double every year.
It's good to have goals. I originally, and I don't know, Mark, if you're still on, if you can tell us about what were your goals when you started YouTube? Did you ever think you get to 100,000? And once you got to 100,000, you're like at 400 and something thousand now. So do you have another goal, 500 or a million? Where do you think it'll end? Do you think there is an end to this mountain that we're climbing? I think a lot of us are just kind of riding the wave. We're surfing, we're in the tube, we're having fun, and we just understand it. There eventually will be a day maybe that wave will crash down. Hopefully not, but
Yeah.
there's
And
no guarantees here in what we do. There's no guarantees that this COPPA and this other stuff that YouTube is doing, and the FCC and everything else, may affect our AdSense in a lot of ways. But see, that's people like Mark that have diversified He's got multiple different sources, and he's doing sponsorships, he's doing box plans, he's doing a lot of other things as well, I'm sure, too, selling merchandise, things like that. But he's got it set up so that if one thing is affected, then the other things can make up for it. And I'm not quite set up that way, and that's my own fault for not diversifying enough, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I think
so. Maybe diversify in 2020 should be my goal. The other thing is LLC, my YouTube channel. I got to do that.
And you need a Williston Audio Labs product.
I do. I needed some merch first, and then yes, I do need to decide what kind of product I'm going to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Or what we talked about before about certification, amplifier certification.
That'd be cool.
And license it out. So if I test your equipment and it is certified Williston Audio, then you get the seal.
Yeah, that'd be cool for sure.
Sorry.
You can't help it. He's got dad joke Tourette's. We all know it.
I can't help it. I really can't help it.
But I think, just being on here, getting more interaction between the channels, small, big, large, medium channels, I think all of that helps to grow a community that when you're siloed off, and you have maybe just Steve Mead's channel by himself or Mark's channel or EXO's, when you're siloed off like that, it's much harder to grow. When you build a community and you have more of a community vibe and you all work together, I think it, a rising tide lifts all boats. So that's what I like.
Yeah, Mark replied back with this thought. 1 million would be nice. Don't think anyone 12 volts hit it. I think Steve Mead's over 700,000. EXO and Cardio Fabrication are both over 400. What is Doug? I don't even know what Doug is at now. Do you know?
Oh, he's over 200. I know.
250. Yeah, 251. Let's just check. Let's see what Mark is at, because I can't remember what everybody's at. I can't remember. He's 417, and then EXO is around. I know he's right around 400. 416.
Oh, so Mark passed him.
Mark and EXO are like right there together. That's so cool.
Him.
And now, what about Price? I know at one time John Price had.
He's got a lot. He's got a lot of subs too.
But he doesn't get the. Oh, he's got 431.
Yeah.
But if you look at his last videos and stuff this last one was 2,500 views 3 days ago. He's not getting the views for his subscribers at all.
Yeah, and I understand. Sounds like one of my videos.
Well, I understand that he's more invested in selling products and stuff like that, so he probably doesn't care that he doesn't get the views. But dude, you got that many subscribers, you got a lot of eyeballs. You need to keep that wheel spinning. He needs to hire somebody to be making more videos for him or something.
Yeah, for sure.
In my opinion.
I don't know. He's a pretty shrewd business guy, so I'm sure if he wanted to, he would he'd definitely do something with it. Yo, Joe and Tell, what's going on?
Oh, Joe's in the house.
In the hizzy. I just watched his headphone videos today, the clips. Yeah, I don't think they're very good for the money. I think he took it easy on them, but yeah.
I watched the one about the JBL powered 6.5s. I watched that one just the other day.
Oh, yeah. Those didn't do that good either, really. Yeah, compared to the ones he done before, the cheaper ones. The Hercules, I think it was. Yeah. Hercules. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Mead is at 700. We didn't talk about him, but he is over 700,000 last I checked. He is 718.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I don't know. He's at the rate he's going. I'm not sure unless Mark or EXO have like several viral videos in a row that they'll be able to catch him before he gets to 1 million.
I
But
got my money on
almost,
Mark. I got my
but
money
you,
on Mark.
but you almost feel like Granddaddy Mead is owed getting to 1 million first.
Yeah.
I mean, I know as far as editing goes and stuff like that, he doesn't. And how do you say this without? This is not a bash by any means, but the format of how he does his videos is unique and it's cool. Don't get me wrong; it's more of a vlogging format. It's not as structured, and I know Mark does a shot list, and he gets a lot of B-roll and stuff like that, where he's doing it over as he's talking about a product or whatever. Things like that are not really shown on Steve's channel, but he shows a lot of content. He gets the content out, obviously, because he gets out so many videos, even doing all the stuff he does during the day. But the fact that he's been doing it as long as he has, I think he deserves to get to 1 million first.
Oh yeah, man. Having a big YouTuber in car audio like Steve, he's a spearhead. He can bust it open for everybody else to kind of get in.
And he has, because
Yeah.
he has shared EXO, he shared car audio fabrication, he shared my stuff, he shared Soundman stuff. I mean, he has really kind of lifted us all up. And of course,
Yep.
Rob, it's what you and I talked about before with the other tool channels and things like that. That helps out everybody when the bigger guys willing to take on some of the smaller guys and kind of lift them up, because it actually helps him out in addition to helping everybody else. So it's not just a one-way street when things like that happen. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah. I think
we're about done.
I think we about done.
Sticking a fork in us.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you guys haven't seen the Glitter Bomb 2.0, go watch that.
I still haven't watched that. I need to. I'll watch it tonight.
I'm gonna leave it in the 19 million views. Have a little bit of that. Why don't you?
And his CPM's $10.
Probably.
Most likely.
I just dropped.
Yeah.
I dropped it into the YouTube and Facebook list so you guys can watch.
Also, I got one more story I could tell before we leave. I ordered a new mic off of eBay. It was I got a fake SM58 mic, and man, it was so close, and I was like, something's off about this. So I got online, started doing the research, and I got a fake Shure SM58 mic. Had the sticker, had the bag, had everything, and it looked legit, but it was definitely a fake.
Yeah, I was concerned of that when you showed me what you bought.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Well, I got my money back. eBay took care of me, so I definitely got my money back. And now, if I buy another SM58, I'm not buying it off eBay. I'm gonna go buy it off of B&H Photo or somewhere like that. I'm not playing around no more, because that's the second. I bought another. Remember, a while back, I bought a Rode video mic that was a fake, and I had to send back. So
yeah, Rode even warns you that on their website, not to buy it from anybody other than the Amazon Direct, because other people are buying the fake ones and rebranding them.
Yep.
But yeah, cool. Thanks everybody again for joining us. Hope you all have a great Christmas time. Enjoy your family and friends. And I do want to leave with this one thing. I heard this today, and it's something that I cannot echo enough, that I need to do better myself. But you think about this time of year and being with your family and your friends and everything. Take some time to video father, grandfather, mother, grandmother, somebody in your family who may be getting older. Ask them some questions. Ask them, what their first job was, where they used to live, things that, are going to be historical that you can use later, that you can go back and listen to. And I thought about it a lot because my dad he's got a memory like nobody's business. And I need to do this with him because my family is kind of small right now. You know, my mom passed away years ago. I don't have any grandparents. So things like this are important. So I would say take some time and sit down with family and just do some interviews, record them. If nothing else, just audio, but get video too if you can. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's great. That's very good advice, especially since we all have these and we can video them very easily.
Less cat videos, more important stuff.
Yeah.
That's what we're leaving with tonight, people.
Yeah, and if you want to watch less important stuff, I'm streaming 12 days of streaming. Today's number 6. I'm streaming tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but I'll be on here. So check me out.
Do that for sure. And Orion 1500.1 DZ video was just released today. You can go check that one out too on my channel. Thanks, guys. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. As always, hope you have a good one. We will catch you next time.
Later. Merry Christmas.
Peace.